Hello, good afternoon my dear students. Welcome back to our news analysis program. Today we shall be discussing the Hindu dated March 4, 2021. I shall be discussing the events that popped up in the newspaper. I shall be giving you a few questions that are probable for our examination. So those questions that I upload during this program will be uploaded in our daily Gyan section of our mobile application that will be available for future reference too. I request all my students to subscribe to our YouTube channels and make sure that you get the notifications every now and then when we come out with a program. We are having regularly 2 programs live at 12:30 every day except Sundays. We have got the newspaper analysis, and at 3 o'clock we will have another live program on either math, English or reasoning. Please make use of the program. Those who are not in a position to watch the program live will be able to watch them on a recorded way, and that will also be available in the channel. So please ensure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You should encourage us by subscribing to our social media platforms, give your likes to our program, and we expect you to post your positive comments against the news analysis. That will be a great encouragement to my team and I myself. So we shall start with the news analysis of Hindu dated March 4. V.K. Shashikala announces decision to withdraw from politics, and Covaxin shows 81% efficacy, also works against variants. Covaxin is our own COVID vaccine developed by Bharti Biotech. So ICMR developed and marketed by Biotech Hyderabad. There have been certain doubts regarding the efficacy of the vaccine, but the government says that there is nothing to, the latest report says that there is nothing to worry about Covaxin. It has got 81% efficacy. Covaxin shows 81% efficacy, also works against variants. We know about the South African variant, we know about the British variant of the virus, and Covaxin works against the latest variants. That is a great solace to all of us. Covaxin, India's first COVID vaccine, has demonstrated an interim clinical efficacy of 81% in the phase 3 clinical trial. This was a major complaint against the vaccine. It bypassed the phase 3, that was the charge against the vaccine, but now the report says that the details of phase 3 are also available, which also shows 81% efficacy for the vaccine. The vaccine demonstrated high clinical efficacy and significant immunogenicity against variants, the company's CMD Krishna Ella said. A statement from Biotech, which developed the vaccine in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research, said 25,800 participants between 18 and 98 were enrolled for the phase 3 study. It included 2,433 over the age of 60 and 4,500 with comorbidities. Okay. So the essence of the news is that phase 3 results are out, and phase 3 clinical trial results are out, and Covaxin does extremely well. Okay. And the comparisons of popular COVID vaccines are also available. Bharti Biotech's vaccine, Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, Moderna vaccine. Pfizer and Moderna are American. Oxford AstraZeneca is Covishield, which is available in India, which is produced by Serum Institute in a wider way in India, and that is developed by Oxford University and marketed by AstraZeneca, and Gamaleya that comes out with that markets Sputnik vaccine of Russia. Voicing dissent against government is not sedition, says Supreme Court. This is a landmark judgment which gives encouragement to people who believe in democracy. Voicing dissent against the government does not amount to sedition, says the Supreme Court. Voicing dissent against the government, if you voice your dissent against the government, that cannot be considered sedition, that cannot be considered that you are less patriot. While rejecting a plea to terminate Lok Sabha membership of National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah and book him for sedition. The expression of a view which is a dissent from a decision taken by the central government itself cannot be said to be seditious, says the court. If the central government takes a decision and if you are vocal against it, then you cannot be considered less patriot, nor can your action be considered seditious. Dr. Abdullah's statement, which we find so offensive as to give a cause of action for a court to initiate proceeding, that is what there was nothing Dr. Abdullah's statement which we find so offensive as to give a cause of action for a court to initiate proceedings. So petitioner Rajesh Sharma accused Dr. Abdullah, president of National Conference of J&K, of stating in Kashmir he will get Article 370 of the Constitution restored with the help of China during a speech in September 24. So Sharma argued that Article 370 had been deleted from the Constitution by the majority of the Parliament. Everybody knows that there are only two countries in the world which are trying to grab the Indian part of Indian territories, namely China and Pakistan, which means Dr. Farooq Abdullah is trying to hand over Kashmir to China or Pakistan. That is how the argument went. But this was dismissed by the Supreme Court and said that it is and the petitioner was even fined by the Supreme Court for wasting court's time. So public interest litigation cannot be a publicity interest litigation. So please read and try to understand. Rape and marriage. This was a very shocking incident. The newspaper severely criticizes some of the observations made by the highest court in India. Marital or other relationship between the perpetrator victim cannot be a rape defense. A relationship between two individuals, including marriage, is built around love, respect, trust and consent. The relationship between two persons, including marriage, can only be based on love, respect, trust and consent. Within the civilized framework, a violent and exploitative act like rape has no place, says the article, editorial. Seen in that context, the Supreme Court's latest query to a Maharashtra government employee asking whether he would marry a girl he was accused of raping repeatedly while she was a minor is insensitive to the core. The Hindu article editorial says that the act of the Supreme Court is insensitive to the core. By offering marriage as a solution to rape victim, the judiciary failed to protect the rights of a girl. The judiciary failed to protect the rights of a girl by offering marriage as a solution to a rape victim. It is not acceptable. Instead of meting out harsh punishment, the court asked the lawyer representing the accused to find out whether his client would be willing to marry the victim or risk going to jail. So the court was offering an option to the rapist. Are you ready to marry or are you risking going to jail? So how can the court give an option of this kind, asks the editorial panel. Equal right activists have always worked hard against misogyny, patriarchal mindset and other failings such as blaming the victim for rape. This arduous battle for equality becomes even more difficult when people in high offices make offensive remarks. On Monday, this was what happened. The instant case is this. The Chief Justice of India, Sharad Ebobde, told the lawyer of the rape accused, "We are not forcing you." And then he said, is the rapist ready to marry the victim? The lawyer later told the court that his client refused to marry the girl because he was already married. In his petition, the accused recounted the allegations that he sexually abused the girl since he was in high school, and also that he had threatened the minor. So look, a few more connected information is given here. When two people are living, look, the obnoxious comments made by the court. When two people are living as husband and wife, however brutal the husband is, can you call sexual intercourse between them rape? In both cases, these crimes attract severe punishment, whether it is within the marriage or outside the marriage. Brutality in sex is an offense. On marital rape, though the recommendation was not included in the Act, Justice J.S. Verma committee was clear. The law ought to specify that a marital or another relationship between the perpetrator and victim cannot be a defense against sexual violation. Okay, so this is how it goes. Please read and get involved in observations of the court and develop a conscience and develop your ideas. Linguistic barriers to education must go, says the Indian Prime Minister. The country's education system should break through linguistic barriers in order to ensure that those in rural areas or from poor homes were not deprived of opportunities to let their talent flourish, says the Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi. Addressing a webinar on education initiatives in the Union Budget, he stated that the focus on learning to local languages was one of the key points of the National Educational Policy. National Educational Policy was detailed discussed by us in our earlier episodes. Learning in vernacular language is the best way to learn, because it is the mother's language that we pick up, and it is through the picked up language, the mother tongue, that we have to make the basement strong. It was the responsibility of all academics and language experts to make sure that the best content in the country and the world were available in Indian language, says the Prime Minister. US sanctions Russian officials over Navalny. Navalny is the opposition leader and Kremlin critic in Russia. He was poisoned through nerve agents during his travel to Siberia. He was taken to Germany, where he was given medication and his life was saved, and he was back to Russia, and upon his arrival at Moscow airport he was arrested and is now under government custody. So United States has sanctioned Russian officials over this Navalny issue. Soviet Union earlier and now Russia are known for absolute intolerance towards any kind of criticism against the administration. So it is Russia and all are kinds of mock democracies where criticism will never be tolerated. So criticism may even be considered seditious. Government can cut excise on fuel by rupees 8.5 sans revenue impact. A very good write up. Central government has the room. We know that petrol prices have but we estimate excess duty of auto fuels, if it is not cut, will be 4.35 lakh. So the government stands to gain 1 lakh crore rupees. So if the government decides to go without this 1 lakh additional amount that it gets from its own target, then 8.5 rupee per litre can be cut. That is what the article says. A beautiful write up, a learned write up. The need of the hour is to ensure that petrol prices are cut, otherwise there will be cascading effect in the economy. The comfort that we enjoy with lower inflation will be deeply disturbed if diesel prices continue to be hovering at higher levels. Spectrum will boost Jio Bharti market share. We yesterday learned about the spectrum allocation. 3 companies participated: Jio, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone India, and Jio and Bharti Airtels were the major buyers. So they bought around 807 megahertz of the total available 2500 plus megahertz. 37% of the spectrum was sold at a whopping 77,000 crore rupees. These are the things that we discussed. So when Jio and Bharti Airtel bidded and succeededly bidded for the spectrum, their share prices went up. That is what the article says. Raise minimum selling price of sugar to 34.55 per kg, says ISMA. ISMA is the Indian Sugar Mill Association. They have asked the government to increase the MSP, minimum support price for sugar. They say that that is very essential for them to release the compensation to farmers. So that is the current price are 80 to 100 per quintal, less than the prices during the corresponding period last year. All these things must be connected with the farmers' strike that are happening, how crucial MSP is. So these are all eye openers. The first question is given to you: who among the following has won the CERAWeek Global Energy and Environment Leadership Award 2021? Is it which international leader? Joseph Biden, Vladimir Putin, Justin Trudeau, Narendra Modi and Boris Johnson. Joseph Biden is the President of United States of America. Vladimir Putin is the Russian President. Justin Trudeau is the Canadian Prime Minister. Narendra Modi, of course, is our Prime Minister, and Boris Johnson is the English Prime Minister. Who has won the CERAWeek Global Energy and Environment Leadership Award? That is a question. Very good. The answer is correct. It is won by none other than our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The second question: Ligia Norohna, who has been appointed the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations Environment Program UNEP, is an Indian economist, environmentalist, cinematographer, journalist or a bureaucrat. What is Ligia Norohna, who has been appointed the Assistant Secretary General of UNEP? An Indian reaches or gets international attention, comes to an important job at the global arena, so we should know. What is Ligia Norohna? Yes, please. Answers are not coming, responses are not coming. Am I waiting? Quickly. Rujik, nice guess, but the answer is wrong. It is she is an economist. UNEP, I think your mind function like this. UNEP, so environmentalist, that is wrong. The answer is she is an economist. Okay. The third question, the union government has put the threshold at dash for the social media to be classified as significant social media intermediary. What should be the subscription of the social media to be classified as significant social media intermediary? How many subscription are required? Is it 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million or 50 million? That's a question. A very important question. We know that government is extending controls over social media, and governments across the world wish to control social media, or governments across the world are slightly intolerant towards social media. There are ample references to that. Okay, what is the threshold? If a social media medium has got more than dash million subscribers, then that medium will be considered significant social media intermediary. What is the answer? Okay, it looks as if you have not read it. So the answer is 5 million, very important. It is 5 million. Thank you, my dear students. I end the program here. We shall discuss the March 5 newspapers tomorrow. Make sure that you all read the newspapers very well to have the best benefit of the program. Thank you very much for the kind participation. I expect your enthusiasm level to go high, and that is very necessary. Look, we will have examinations coming soon. Till then, keep your cool and prepare. Thank you very much. At 3 o'clock we shall meet again with another live program on either math, English or reasoning. So don't forget to leave your comment against this program and like the program. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day ahead of you. Goodbye.